Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're back again with Vanessa Banda, and if you're new here, place the like button and the subscribe button, and let's get the demand and the supply policies. So on my first video, we're just gonna focus on the supply side policies. So first of all, we have the natural resources. So what are our natural resources? It's our land where we do our crops and all that. So what happens in our natural resources, minerals are not distributed equally across the countries, because you find that in African countries we have gold, but in America they don't have gold, so they're not distributed equally because we have a problem called scarcity. So our first bullet under our natural resources, um they are not distributed equally. Invest in new discoveries and minerals and other resources. So other countries, they invest in minerals and other resources. Like America, they can invest in our gold, because as we don't have the machines, when they invest in our gold, the what's this the value of our gold becomes higher. So that's another point that can go under natural resources. And then there's invest in research and technology to increase productivity of natural resources. So other countries, they can invest in the research how to make the gold more powerful, because remember, the minerals, when we are selling minerals, we must check the value of the mineral, because the gold that we used to produce 100 years ago and now it's different, because the value of the 100 years ago was high because the minerals were not depleted yet, and we're not digging too much under to get those minerals. So in other words, you can write invest in research and technology to increase productivity. If you invest in technology, like right now we invested in our fruit, in our vegetables, like in technology, how to make them grow, modify them, but which can be a cost harm. But anyway, we don't need to go into that. Just right, invest in technology. And then we have our climate conditions. This is very important. Like this year 2024, I don't know about where you live, but right now where I'm living at Krugerstop, there has not been rain. And usually rain season is in February, January, but there's not been rain. That means we are going to be having a drought. That means inflation is going to increase. So this can actually affect our foreign exchange market, because there is a scarcity. The price of our goods is high, because where they are going to buy the goods from the suppliers is high. So if they're buying it from high, that means the suppliers have to increase the price. So when we go to buy at the shop, what happens, or at the supermarket, what's going to happen? The price is going to be high, and we have inflation. And I'm sure guys, you've seen every time when you go grocery shopping, what you used to buy for 1,000 rand, now you see that 1,000 rand doesn't even buy. You're just going to come back with two plastic bags. So it can be possible for other countries to produce certain goods at a lower price than other countries. E.g., Brazil is the largest producer of coffee. Like Brazil, if Brazil has a lot of coffee, so they can produce it at a lower price because of their climate conditions. So as we can produce coffee at a lower price because our climate conditions doesn't benefit us. So yeah, we're gonna have our labor resources differ in quality, differ in quantity, and cost between countries. So our labor resources, we have some countries have highly skilled, well paid, with high productivity, e.g., Swaziland. So our labor resources, we have other countries that have highly skilled and well paid people. Where else in our country, like I like to make examples with our country in general, like South Africa. Right now, yes, we have people who are skilled, but let's say in general, our parents are semi skilled, because some of our parents work in, they sweep they sweep at schools, they sweep at the houses. That's called semi-skilled, because most of our parents, didn't finish their matric. So if you didn't finish your matric or your further education to tertiary, we call you a semi-skilled, because you're working. You can do work with your hands, but you're not highly skilled. It's just like if there's a demand for welders in other countries, and when they are semi-skilled, they can't employ you. So in other countries, we have those people who are intelligent, who are highly skilled, who are let's take, for instance, China. China, most of the Chinese people, they are highly skilled. They're in technology. It's where we get our Samsung phone. Like right now, I'm using my Samsung phone, and most of the phones are made in China or in Korea, like Huawei, or I don't know, is it Huawei or Huawei? How people pronounce it. So yeah, let's move on. We have technology resources are available in other countries that enable them to produce certain goods and services at a lower unit cost, e.g. Japan. Just like I was saying, technologies and resources, you can find that other countries, they have technologies like Japan. They can make big cars like Jeep and all that, and you find that in our country, South African countries, we can't even produce our car. We can produce cars, unlike in Korea or China, because we don't have the technology and the resources like other countries. The only car that I remember that our country produced, it was Mazda, yes, more Mercedes Benz, more Polo, more Ing, more Bugatti. It's other countries, because us, we don't have the resources, we don't have the technological resources. Just like, let's take for instance our gold. We don't have our gold. We are rich in minerals. As we know, African countries, they're rich in minerals, but they are so poor. And you find that America, it doesn't have any minerals, but it's so rich because they have technological resources. Because as we export our gold to other countries, because we're exporting it in a raw material, then they're going to produce it and then put it in a what finished good. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Finished good. So what is going to happen when we sell it at a raw material, and they have to go and finish it like primary, secondary, and tertiary? So what's going to happen is that we are going to sell it at a lower price, and then when America sells it, because it has modified the good, that means it's gonna be at a higher price. Because as we don't have the technological resources, let's move on. We have specialization in the production of certain goods and services allows some countries to produce them at a lower cost than others. Japan produces electrical goods and sells this at a lower price. So Japan, it specializes as selling electrical goods, so everything that has to do with electrical, because they have the people who have the necessary skills. It can go back to labor resources, the people who are highly skilled for building things, for making things, and they have the technological resources, and then they specialize it. If somebody specialized with this thing, that means they're very good at it. They can do it with their eyes closed. Has it ever happened to you that, okay, like, let me give you an example. It's just like a joke. Like, you know your siblings' voice, like you special, like you know your siblings' voice, even if they talk, okay, like you know your friend, even if she's walking from that corner that far, you can spot her right away. Why? Because you know her, right? So you know your things, you know everything. So with specialization, is that they know what they're doing. You can even do the thing while closed, while closing your eyes. That's how they are. They specialize in good things. And then we have capital. Capital allows developed countries to enjoy an advantage over underdeveloped countries. Due to lack of capital, some countries cannot produce all the goods they require. Because of capital, like as they said before, developed countries, they are your Europe, your America, your Asian countries, they have high in production, they produce more, and then more undeveloped countries is more South Africa, but Zimbabwe, Namibia, Mozambique. So most of these African countries, they don't have capital. So who's at an advantage when we don't have capital? It's the developed countries that can take advantage of us because we don't have capital. So under capital, you can also write promote private sector investment, use public money efficiently to improve infrastructure, goods, and services. We can write encourage the public to self provide funding for the capital information. So we have, and then we have the other one that is not included here. I always like to give my learners a bonus one. If you're a good listener, then you can write it down. It's not there, but you just need you to listen. We have entrepreneurship. Right, entrepreneurship, of course, it's a businessman. For those people who don't know, it's a businessman or a businesswoman, like anyone who's running a business. Entrepreneurship is the backbone of both economic growth and development. So that's another point that you can put there, because it's the backbone. If there's no entrepreneurship, there is no foreign exchange market. So we need an entrepreneur, we need a supplier. Encourages competition through policies of deregulation and anti-monopoly legislation. So you can say that it encourages competition, which reduces policies of deregulation. If there's competition, that means the taxes are going to go low, because unlike if you're the only one who's a monopoly who's producing, your taxes are always high. So yeah, it improves the deregulation and how you exchange with other countries, promote an entrepreneurial culture, and encourage businesses short up and providing for finances. Yeah, that's all. That's the end of the video. I hope you understood. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, guys.